Hi everyone, I'm Tock Custom, and on this video we're going to show you how to make your own sublimated mugs using the brand new Brother SP1 sublimation printer and this mug press. So I'm going to show you everything you need to get started right now. Alright, so here's everything that you need to make your own custom mugs like these right here. So we've got the Brother SP1 sublimation printer, and then I got this mug press online for about $60, and it came with this, the heat gloves, and this heat resistant tape, which you will need. And you'll also need sublimation paper, which this comes with, and obviously a bunch of blank mugs. I like bigger mugs, so these are 15-ounce mugs. Okay, so here's the blank mug that we're going to use, and obviously we need some kind of a design or graphic to go on here. But first, I want to measure how wide and tall the graphic needs to be, so I'm going to wrap my tailor's measure around here and figure out it needs to be about 8.5 inches around by about 3.5 inches tall. So I'm going to design a graphic for this right now using those dimensions. Alright, now I'm not going to do a whole graphic design tutorial or anything like that, but I'm going to use Photoshop here to start a new project. According to our dimensions, I'm going to do a project that is 8.5 inches wide by 3.5 inches tall, and we'll do this at a higher resolution so that it looks really clean. So here is our template for what we're going to put on our mug. You can put anything in here that you want, so I'm going to come up with something really stupid for the sake of this tutorial, and then we'll put it on a mug. Alright, so here is the design I came up with for our mug, which is a collage of pictures of me drinking coffee. I also added a purple border around this because I blended the edges and I want to know exactly where to cut this out on the paper so that we get a nice, good transfer. So the printer prints on sublimation paper that is 8.5 by 11, or in this case we're going to do 11 by 8.5 because we're going to print it landscape. So I am going to create a new project and then just paste this right there. Normally you could fit 2 mugs worth of designs onto one paper, but for the sake of this demo, I'll just do one. Now I want to save this as a PNG or a JPEG so that we can transfer it to the printer. We're going to use the Artspira app, so this is my phone that you see on screen here. So I'm going to open the Artspira app, which just came out by Brother, and this is for sublimation printing, embroidery, and vinyl cutting on the Scan and Cut. So as I load this up, I'm going to do a new project, and I'm going to go to printing at the top right, and we are going to do a landscape letter size. Now, this is our canvas for printing on sublimation, so if I hit the plus at the bottom, I'm going to load up our new graphic, and I'm just going to scale this to the size of a full sheet of paper, which I should have done previously, but this is fine. Alright, so that is all sized and centered correctly, so all I have to do is hit OK at the top right, and done, and I'll say, yes, I want to save this as Tock, coffee, mug, or something like that. Hit save, and then it's going to store it on my personal projects under the Artspira app, and then most importantly, it's going to flip the image because it has to be printed backwards on the paper for us to sublimate it. At the bottom it says heat guide. If I need some instructions on how to apply this to different types of material, I could hit that. But this is all ready to go, so I'm just going to hit print right now, and it's going to print out over there. Alright, so here is our design on the sublimation paper. It is very normal if it looks kind of faded right here. The colors always show up much more vivid when you apply heat to it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this out on our little border. In fact, I want to make sure I cut that purple border off so it doesn't actually transfer onto our mug. Alright, so now we have this cut out. There's a little bit of like a powder on this type of paper, so it says not to touch it because it can kind of mess with the ink, so I'm just going to try to hold this by the edges as we put it on the mug. Now with this heat press, you're supposed to have a mug to preheat in the press to help it preheat evenly, so it is a good idea to have a spare blank mug around. So this is a new one that doesn't have anything on it. Now before I put our graphic on here, I'm just going to wipe this off and make sure there's no dust on it at all. Alright, now this mug press again came with these heat gloves and this heat resistant tape right here. Please don't use like Scotch tape because it will melt into a press and it won't be a good deal. So anyway, I'm going to cut out just a couple little strips of this so that we can get our design on the mug. So now I've got a nice clean blank mug. I'm going to put this ink side to the mug, and I want to try to do my best to center the handle between the edges of the paper here. That looks pretty good like that. So I'm just going to take a piece of tape, put one on one side, and then I'm going to kind of smooth it from the taped edge and pull it real tight all the way around the other side so that it looks like it's even on top and it's not going to be kind of skewed sideways or anything like that. So that looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to tape the other side, and that was probably the hardest part of this whole project. All right, so here's the heat press that we're going to use. There's lots of different options. Again, I got this on Amazon for like 60 bucks. Blink where it says 200 degrees Celsius, which is what I want. When it's solid, that means it is preheated. And it wants me to put a blank mug in here, which apparently helps it preheat more evenly and faster. So I'm going to center the handle in there and then press it down until this latch grabs right there. Then you can kind of tighten this in there a little bit so that this whole cylinder covers the entire surface of your mug. Now, when this is ready, I think it beeps and that'll turn solid. And then we're gonna put this mug in here with the handle as centered as we can make it. And we're going to do it for 200 seconds, and I'll hit the timer when we're ready to start that. All right, this just beeps, so it is preheated, so I'm going to loosen this just a little bit. Before I even touch this, please do not forget to put on your gloves, because this thing is going to be extremely hot right now. So when this is loose enough, I can just press this tab and push down a little bit, and this will come up. You don't have to open this all the way. I just need this open enough to slide it. Again, this is going to be very hot for like 10 minutes, so put it somewhere where it's not going to melt anything. Then simply make sure your label is on right side up. I printed one upside down by mistake. And then I'm going to open this up, slide this in, make sure that my handle is centered as I'm closing it. Now I'm going to push down till it clicks, then I'm going to tighten this just a little bit. All right, now I'm going to hit the timer for 200 seconds. It will beep as soon as it's done, and then we can pop it out, and this thing will be done. Okay, this just beeps, so I'm going to turn it off by holding the power button. We're going to unscrew the clamp, then pop this out. Again, make sure you're wearing your gloves for this because this is going to be hot for a while. And don't rinse this with cold water because you can shatter your mug. But while I'm holding this, I want to get this tape off, and I don't want to do it with my bare hands, so I'm going to use a screwdriver. This is still even quite hot with these gloves on. But as I am taking this out right as it's coming out of the mug, and that image is on there just like that. So it's very hot, but there is our mug. That's how it looks, and I haven't had any issues with these fading while I'm washing any of my dishes. So there is my new Tock custom coffee mug, which I'm pretty happy about. I'm going to set this on the wood because I don't want to melt my cutting mat here. But yeah, I think this went pretty well. All right, so we are all done, and in about 10 minutes from designing this to pulling it out of the heat press, we've got a new custom mug with great colors. It's really fast and easy to make lots of mugs very quickly. I'm really excited to see what else I can do with this sublimation printer from Brother as well. I'm also very excited to be filming my first tutorial in my new studio in my hometown in Wisconsin, so thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about this project or anything else, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thank you again for watching, and we will see you in the next video.